Tonight.
And for Ravenwood is quarterback Femi Babalola. Now, he is part of the two-quarterback system, so we're going to see Maverick Chance get the start tonight. Babalola will come in. They alternate series, but he's the one that had 3 passing touchdowns a week ago in that massive win over Oakland.
Yeah, in our talks this week, I was big on Babalola being the guy to watch coming in because he really stepped up. Now, he also made some mistakes. He had some really tight windows and threw the ball, a little bit of turnovers, but he was the reason they were able to get in over Oakland. Again, a combined team effort, but Babalola really showed out and got to show out his tools. So look for him to balance out the rushing attack they're going to bring tonight.
This crowd is ready for kickoff. They are rocking and ready to go. But let's bring in the third member of our crew, Sammy Kincaid, who I believe has some good news before we kick things off.
Yes, we do have good news tonight for the Bart Durham injury report. I'm happy to report that there are no injuries in tonight's game on either sideline. So that is the Bart Durham injury update. And whenever we come back from this break, we're going to have kickoff, coin toss, a whole lot more for you. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Week 11 of the 2024 season. The Brentwood Bruins travel across town to visit Ravenwood in a Williamson County rivalry matchup to determine the Region 6 6A champion. But before kickoff, we go down to the field with our white hat, Billy Pittman, in the pregame coin toss presented by the Tennessee Army National Guard.
I'm your referee, Billy Pittman. This is the umpire, Doug Casel. Brentwood, you're the visiting team. What do you call? You call heads. If you drop it, we'll do it again. It is tails. Ravenwood, you've won the toss. Ravenwood has won the toss.
Wins the toss. They defer to the second half, and we'll see the Brentwood Bruins offense first in what should be a thrilling matchup in front of an electric crowd in Williamson County. Welcome in, everyone, alongside Bruno Reagan in the booth. I'm Lucas Panzica, Sammy Kincaid down on the sidelines. Look at that crowd here at Ravenwood, showing up. Both fan bases showing out on this gorgeous Friday night in Middle Tennessee. And both teams are on the field. We are ready for kickoff, Bruno, in the type of game that you look forward to all season long.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to use the kickoff as like a way to get those jitters out because there was a lot of, there's a lot of chirping around out in the field.
Here we go, the 27th edition of the Battle of the Woods underway as Drew Crabtree swings the right leg, and it is fair caught at the 25-yard line by Mason Ball, the Brentwood senior. So out comes this Brentwood offense led by junior quarterback J.C. White. Now, the Bruins do run a dual quarterback system, so we will see J.C. White there wearing 16. We will also see Cannon Kinder, but unlike Ravenwood, Bruno, it's more of a hot hand approach, and White had a phenomenal night in the win against Independence last week. 15 of 20, 243, and a pair of touchdowns as he sets up this 1st and 10. And it's a quarterback keeper. Falling forward for 2, maybe 3 yards is White, the junior, as we get a look at the Brentwood offensive starters, presented by BMC Metalworks, an industry leader in CNC machining and steel fabrication services, celebrating its 50th year anniversary. Now, as Ravenwood will get you to Brentwood starters here shortly. 2nd and 7. Play action on the fake to Nelson. White's got some room down the left side, and he tumbles out near midfield. J.C. White on his 41st carry of the season has a BMC Metalworks 1st down to get the Bruins going.
Yeah, on that gap scheme, they're just setting up 2 walls right there, a narrow one, and then the pullers come in. The down blocks were really good right there, able to get to the 2nd level.
A 16-yard scamper for number 16 as you see the Brentwood starters, presented by BMC Metalworks. Gavin Nelson, the bell cow at running back. Watch out for number 4, Clayton Merrill, the Austin Peay commit. An explosive playmaker on the outside as they try to get him the football on a quick screen here on 1st down, and out of bounds and incomplete to bring up 2nd and 10, unless they rule it a backwards pass, which they do. So Brentwood will lose yardage as we look at the Ravenwood defense in that front 7, Bruno. Nasty, like we saw last week against Oakland, and it's just complemented by Donovan Starr at the back, the cornerback committed to Auburn.
Yeah, last week we saw them get a lot of backfield penetration, really helped shut down Oakland's rushing attack early, so that way it forced them to throw the ball in unfavorable situations.
It was -6 on the screen from 1st down. They're going to screen that again to Merrill, this time on the right side, and he'll pick up a few. 27th edition of this rivalry matchup. Brentwood has a 14-12 advantage and took both games last year. 17-0 in the regular season finale, and then again in the postseason, 27-20 in the 2nd round, eliminating Ravenwood. So safe to say the Raptors and their fan base are out for revenge tonight.
Brentwood did well blocking down the field. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a screen game come into play.
Here comes a blitz on 3rd and long. White escapes the pocket, sidearms, and that's going to be a 1st down completion to the 45 of Ravenwood. He connects with Jones Merrill, Clayton's younger brother, only a sophomore that just continues to get better within this offense.
What a good spin outside of the pocket, able to keep his eyes down the field. Merrill does a good job of hauling this one in. There was a little bit of a hesitation on the capture. It's almost like he didn't expect him to get out of that and get the ball, but good job by the younger Merrill.
So the Merrill family lineage continues to make an impact for the Brentwood offense. Here's 1st and 10 from the Ravenwood 45. Gavin Nelson's 1st carry of the night. He is met at the line of scrimmage, driven backward. And getting up without a helmet is Cooper Midget, the junior nose guard.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Brentwood to just run down the throat of this Ravenwood front. Right there, it looks like they're just setting up maybe a kick-out series, but just nowhere to go. I mean, they're going to have to attack the edges of the field. And it's one of those things, too. It's early in the game. Defense is coming as hot as they can. It was a good job by Midget to get into the backfield.
Defense is a big strength for both of these teams. Ravenwood allowing less than 8 points per game this season. J.C. White won't get much there as he falls into the arms of defensive end Elliott Hampton, and that brings up another 3rd and long. 3rd and 9 for the Bruins. Just creeping into Ravenwood territory on this opening series.
And on both the dropbacks that Brentwood has had, Ravenwood has had quick pressure on the quarterback. They got to find a way to give him time, whether it's by design or just your base protection effort.
The Merrill brothers wide left. Jones wearing number 5, Clayton wearing number 4. White under pressure, throws and completes. Completes to Okla. The tight end is down at the 25. And the senior, with offers from Cincinnati, FAU, among others, has a 19-yard completion.
Brentwood, although having a two-quarterback system, starting White, the hot hand, I think he shows why he's kind of earned that distinction, because that was a good sidearm throw. Good job by Okla, too, the tight end, to haul it in and convert again on 3rd and long. Ravenwood's getting them on 3rd and long, but Brentwood's getting out of these situations, now threatening the red zone.
Yeah, 3rd and 11 and 3rd and 9 converted on this drive. Another screen to the left side, and again, just a little bit behind his target. That time it was for senior receiver Alex Greer, but they do mark it incomplete, and it brings up 2nd and 10. Head coach Clint Finch, his 4th season as the head coach at Brentwood, but he's been around this program a lot longer than that. 2 different stints, very successful stints as the offensive coordinator for legendary coach Ron Crawford. White. Wings downfield, connects with Merrill. Might be just enough as he's hit at the 15, and that will move the chains. Another first down presented by BMC Metalworks as Brentwood creeps into the Ravenwood red zone.
Yeah, and that was pretty good pass protection right there by Brentwood. And it was also a good job by Pollard on the cover, but it was just enough to get that first down. Good route, good catch.
11-yard gain on Clayton Merrill's 47th reception of the season, the lead receiver for the Bruins. White screens it. Again, it's Merrill, and he is hit hard at the 10-yard line. That was Anderson, the lead tackler for this Ravenwood defense, making good contact, but positive yardage by Merrill.
Yeah, and that tackle was from behind, too. Those are the ones where it gets scary. I mean, remember, for Brentwood, their key is to win the turnover battle. So right here, the worst thing you can do is not score. The second worst thing you can do is give the ball to Ravenwood. So they have to really protect the football and be smart here on this side of the field.
White with only 1 interception all season. He's taking care of the football all year long. On 2nd down, finds his man. That's Jones Merrill, hit after the catch. We'll bring up 3rd and short. Ball on the 6-yard line.
Again, good protection. These quick routes, quick passes, they're all good. Especially, it's a little bit riskier as the field starts to shorten when you get into that red zone. But with execution and a quarterback like White that knows what he's doing, as Brentwood starts to get into a tight formation.
3rd and short. It's the tight end Okla out of the Wildcat, and he punches it forward. Waiting on the official spot. Looked like it was enough, and he will convert a BMC Metalworks first down, making it 1st and goal for the Bruins, trying to score on the opening drive. Okla will remain in the Wildcat, and he's brought down before the goal line by a flock of Raptor tacklers.
Okla mishandled the snap a little bit on that one. I think if he was able to haul it in a little bit clearer, he would have been able to follow his blockers. He just hit it on the edge, kind of on a wing there, not being able to keep his eyes up. But still, new fresh set of downs outside of that one to pound it in about, 3 yards.
The drive that's consumed over half of the first quarter clock on the opening series. Okla again, right up the gut, runs into a pile. They'll mark him down at the 1. Brings up 3rd and goal. And this is where the Ravenwood defense has stiffened up all year long. In fact, before last week against Oakland, they hadn't allowed a first quarter point all season.
Lane Summerall, the Ravenwood defender, came up, but he looked like he was down by contact. Yeah, for Brentwood right there in these rushing situations, a lot of their offensive linemen are kind of standing straight up and not moving anywhere. If you're in these goal line situations, most guys are coached, finish with your body in the end zone. If you're not in the end zone, how can the runner or the back expect to be in the end zone?
They'll get away from the Wildcat here with J.C. White back in the game. And now some discussion along that Brentwood sideline. Looks like Clint Finch will take his first timeout. Knocking on the door, looking to open the scoring. We'll take one with him. Scoreless early in the Battle of the Woods here on MyTV 30. The calm before the storm at Ravenwood High School tonight. The final week of the regular season. Packed house for the Battle of the Woods. Undefeated Ravenwood, 8-1 Brentwood. That is our national anthem moment presented by the United States Marines. Back in the booth alongside Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica, Sammy Kincaid down on the field, and Brentwood marching right down the field on this opening series, Bruno. They've converted 3 third downs, and now another one, 3rd and goal on the 3.
Yeah, when you get this position, we had a timeout. A lot of times it's because we've seen Brentwood run that hurry up. They might call 2 plays in that huddle, and if the first one doesn't convert, which would set up a 4th down, they might get on the ball quick and try and come out.
They're going to come out with Cannon Kinder now, the senior quarterback, taking his first snap. Correction, that's Merrill in the Wildcat. He's going to be slung down at the 10. Clayton Merrill steps into the Wildcat and has nowhere to go as Sam Rohan chases him down, the junior defensive end.
Sam Rohan had the pressure earlier that forced that backward lateral, and again, he kind of just uses a shoulder technique, a little dip to shift by that lead blocker. Again, the backfield, I mean, he was a force last week, and he's already making his number known tonight.
So Brentwood sends out the field goal unit to try and open up the scoring. Junior Keenan Fisher. He will tee up a 27-yard attempt well within his range. And the first points in the Battle of the Woods 2024 belong to the Brentwood Bruins. A long scoring drive. Ravenwood prevents the touchdown, but Brentwood on top, 3-0.
Welcome back to Ravenwood, where they're currently hosting Brentwood, and it is 3-0 Brentwood. And I am currently joined by Staff Sergeant Ashton Staggs. And thank you so much for your service, and thank you for joining me tonight. And thank you also to the Tennessee Army National Guard for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. But first off, can you tell me, how is the Tennessee Army National Guard different from other military branches?
So we're different mostly because we live here and serve here. We are a local part-time military branch that responds primarily to natural disasters, fires, floods, things like that. So that really sets us apart from the other branches, mostly because we're here local, right in your backyard.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And what jobs? There's a lot of jobs, right, that people can have in the Tennessee Army National Guard?
Yes, lots of different jobs. We have medical, IT, technical jobs, mechanical jobs, dentist jobs, basically anything you can think of, we have. Yeah, absolutely.
You really went across the spectrum right there with those. That's fantastic. And everyone talks about the benefits of being in the military, but what benefits are specific to the Tennessee Army National Guard?
So the biggest one that we have to offer is something called the Tennessee Strong Act, and it actually pays up to 100% of tuition up to a master's degree. No other branch offers that, and that's if you go to school here locally, and it's amazing. It's a fantastic benefit.
That's fantastic that they do that, and thank you again so much for your service, and thank you again to the Tennessee Army National Guard for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. Guys, I'm sending it up to you.
Thank you, Sammy. Sergeant Skaggs. Brentwood up to a 3-0 lead after a long opening drive that chewed up nearly 8 minutes of first quarter clock, getting a 27-yard field goal out of it from Keenan Fisher, the kicker, who will boot it end over end into the end zone. He's been efficient with his touchbacks this year. It's no different tonight in the regular season finale, and we'll get a look at this Ravenwood offense Head coach Clint Finch saw his team convert 3 third downs on their way to inside the Ravenwood 5-yard line, and that's where that Raptor front seven did what they've been doing all season.
It is good to get, as you see, and you look on your screen at the scoring summary, 17-play drive. Although Ravenwood, they have a great defense, and they performed well on that drive to keep it at 3 points. Those reps start to take a toll, Lucas, and that will start to take its toll as we get into the third, fourth quarter.
So now we see this dual quarterback system for Ravenwood. Maverick Chance gets the start tonight, spinning across the 25. A nice first down run. The junior quarterback, really talented runner of the football. He's got over 500 yards rushing on the season. As you look at the Ravenwood offensive starters, presented by BMC Metalworks. Ben Hubbard, number 8, had a big game, the MTSU commit last week against Oakland. We'll see if they try to get him going again tonight. After a 7-yard run for a quarterback who averages 11 yards per carry, Chance will hand off. This is Pace. Cutting upfield, he has the first down. Strong run by Caden Pace, who only had 23 rush yards against Oakland last week. They'll go to the run game early tonight, will Ravenwood, as here's the Brentwood defensive starters. And that linebacking core has been a really pleasant surprise for head coach Clint Finch, especially number 1, William Turner. This is a unit that's allowed only 9 points per game and only returned 1 starter, and that is number 6, cornerback Mason Ball. Early movement. And there's our first flag of the night.
Prior to the snap, encroachment on the defense, number 9. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Head coach Will Hester looks on as his offense will get a 1st and 5 now. Hester in the 4th year of his 2nd stint and coaching against his alma mater tonight, Brentwood High School. Chance wants to throw on 1st down. He'll turn into a runner across midfield. Maverick Chance. It's tough to drag him down as he finally hits the turf at the Brentwood 44. And Maverick Chance, the junior quarterback, has a 17-yard first down carry.
And what I love about Maverick Chance when he runs too, right? He's always trying to get vertical and get the yards. He's going to cut these corners as hard as he possibly can, that way to be efficient with his running.
Late flag, and it looks like this is going to come back. Billy Pittman signaling an offensive holding against the Raptors. So what was a crowd-energizing run by Chance now puts Ravenwood in a hole. Ten-yard spot foul. Marks it 1st and 15 for Ravenwood, now on their own 29. And in motion, coming across the left side, that is Ben Hubbard. No correction, Donovan Starr, the senior wide receiver / cornerback. He'll be an early enrollee at Auburn come December, and he gets a gift trying to utilize that speed on the outside.
Good jet pitch, and Ravenwood actually gets away with a little bit of a hold. The tight end Badger Sullivan there had a good hold right there, but they get the yards.
Play action for Chance, under pressure, trying to escape it, able to wheel his way out of bounds. And that's enough for a first down by Maverick Chance. So the holding call moves Ravenwood backwards. They get a BMC Metalworks first down out of it anyway. Chance using his legs.
When people say it's hard to tackle this guy in a phone booth, a lot of people equate it to like elusiveness. But Chance is like, when you touch him, you fall off him like butter. And then when he hits you, it's like you ran into a wall.
Handles the high snap and gives to Pace. The speedy sophomore out of bounds in Brentwood territory. Flag down. Dropped right at midfield. And it looks like it's going to be against Ravenwood again. Hester frustrated here as the Raptors continue to move backwards.
Holding on the offense, number 15. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
And that's called against wide receiver Cy Longley. Now, this crew has officiated 2 games in this building this season. Ravenwood's wins against Smyrna and Franklin, both of those games had 21 combined accepted penalties. So I believe we're at 3 tonight. We'll see if that count keeps up. Caden Pace, no, Davis Dowland, rather, scampers to near the 45. Now, you might have noticed Will Hester standing next to a young lady signaling in the offensive plays. Let's go down to Sammy Kincaid on the sideline for more. We'll go back to Sammy here in just a moment. Will Hester getting some extra help there on the sideline. Chance escaping from the pocket. He'll chuck it deep down the right sideline and just overthrown for Ben Hubbard. 3rd and 10.
Thought it was well protected there, Ravenwood. Sticking to their run game, something they got away from last week, but they're still going to try and take it off the top when they have the chance. 2nd and long is always a good one to do that, where the pass rush might not be as dialed up as you would see on a 3rd and long. Chance might have just rolled out of the pocket a little too early while they had good protection.
3rd and 10. Quick throw. Chance connects. Donovan Starr using that speed. The future Auburn Tigers gone. Touchdown Ravenwood. Yards for the Auburn commitment.
Chance just throws a bullet right here, sidearm right over the hands of the Brentwood defenders. A great downfield block, and what a great job by Starr. He runs like a U to avoid all these runners. Just a natural instinct to take advantage of the field that he has.
That got this Ravenwood crowd going. Donovan Starr with his 5th receiving touchdown of the year. It leads the team. Saw him break loose last week with a 65-yard touchdown catch against Oakland. And that time it's the run after catch ability from the speedster. And it puts Ravenwood up 7-3 after the extra point with under a minute to go in the first quarter. Chance to Starr, and Ravenwood has its first lead of the ballgame.
Great effort there. You know, great job by Starr, obviously, of the talent, the looseness of speed. But Max Kimple was the guy you saw on the screen just zoom from out of frame into frame to get that block to set it up. Also, once Starr got back to the sideline, Maverick Chance immediately ran to him and was like, hey, thanks for that one. You know, you got to love it when you throw a 10-yard pass as a quarterback and it turns into a 65-yard score.
He's a track star when he's not playing football, and he'll be down on the plains working with the Auburn Tigers in a matter of about 2 months.
Enjoy high school while you can, young, and it picks up quick.
Certainly nights like tonight are ones you look forward to as a player. You just got to think for the young players in both of these programs, right? Maybe guys on the freshman team that see this environment and just can't wait to play in it in 2 to 3 years.
Absolutely, and I don't want to get too coachy on them either, because if I would see those young guys, a lot of guys watch the moment, but this is the time you get to practice of being in the moment where the weight isn't on you, right?
8 plays, 80 yards, 3:24 off the clock, a drive where Ravenwood was held back a little bit by multiple holding calls, but get 7 out of it. And again, Drew Crabtree will scoop the kick to Jones Merrill, where it's fair caught at about the 30-yard line. So Brentwood comes out for its second offensive series of the night. And this will be a big spot for Clint Finch, who calls the plays on offense for a unit that he says has been inconsistent this season, played really well in spurts of quarters and halves. He really wants to see them put together a 4-quarter ball game tonight.
Some inconsistency tonight. Scored on a 17-play drive, just a field goal out of it, and they only really were won on 3rd downs. They were able to convert these 3rd and longs. We'll see how they respond.
White Throwing on the run. Merrill's got it. And he jukes out near the 45. That is J.C. White's favorite target, Clayton Merrill, with a 17-yard reception.
What an interesting thing about that play was you could see White, when he did his rollout, he had his shoulders dipped like a level or two. He took some inches off of his height. That way the defensive and, most importantly, the linebacking level, they can't read his eyes and they can't get in the way of his throwing pass. So he knew where he was going to be at the end of that route with Merrill.
Clock ticking down in the first quarter. White jets up the middle and slides near midfield. So a first down carry could be the final play of the opening frame if Brentwood wants it to be.
Brentwood not balancing the attack as much as they would want to here in the first quarter, but they did score on the first drive, and they're about to cross midfield, so as an offense, you're probably starting to settle in a little bit more.
And they'll have it when we come back to start the second quarter. Ravenwood on top on a 55-yard connection from Maverick Chance to Donovan Starr in the Battle of the Woods. First quarter in the books in Williamson County. Ravenwood leads Brentwood 7-3 in the Battle of the Woods. So get a look at the first quarter stats. Balanced first quarter for the Ravenwood Raptors, but Brentwood starting the second quarter in the midst of their second series of the ball game after taking the lead with a long opening drive resulting in a chip shot field goal. 2nd and 6. Bruins approaching Ravenwood territory. Merrill in the Wildcat charges up the gut. And the pile will stop him right at midfield. We'll bring up another third down scenario for the Bruins. They are 3 for 4 so far tonight.
Saw that pile getting a little testy there at the end. I wonder if that'll start to make a difference. These rivalry games, they get a little emotional. How many times have we seen in football where it's a key situation, something silly happens, and it saves something?
3rd and 4. White will roll out. Reverses field, and he slides to the turf, well short of the first down. Gains a couple out of it. It'll bring up 4th and 2, and it could be decision time for Clint Finch.
At 4th and 2, you still have an option of both passing and rushing, which can keep the defense off your toes. A lot of teams, when they get to games like this where there's a lot on the line, you typically don't install during the season. But once your team gets settled in, they can mentally handle it. You might throw in a play or two as we start to see the special teams unit come out. Brentwood will opt for better field position. But I wouldn't be surprised if they got some tricks up their sleeve. We saw last week with Ravenwood, all the tricks they had for Oakland.
Cannon Kinder, who has played a lot of quarterback for this team, will punt it away here, and it's a fake. He throws downfield, and it's batted down. Incomplete, as Kinder was looking down the right sideline, and it's broken up by Wyatt Appleton.
What a well-disciplined play here by Appleton. He sees that there's an open zone at the upper left side and that his under is covered. So as his under is covered, he goes, oh, I got to protect over the top, and just gets a hand, just enough of it. I told you, Brentwood, they're going to try something. There's too much on the line to not have something dialed up, and they just showed their hand on special teams.
Kinder, the quarterback, who does punt for this team. They like to put him back there, utilize his athleticism, and they try to do it there with the fake. Pass was intended for Jackson Allen, but broken up, and now Ravenwood will take over with excellent field position. 1st and 10 on their own 48-yard line. Both teams gathered on their own sideline, looking over the play.
Yeah, live film. That's something we didn't have in football about 10 years ago. So taking advantage of the technology and such that we have available to us today. Also, both these teams have large staffs that can handle a multitude of responsibilities. That's 6A football in Middle Tennessee.
How could that impact even just in-game adjustments, whereas typically it would be at halftime, right, that you kind of hit the reset button, but now how much more can you do that on the go?
Yeah, you never change your play, but you can spot things where, like, hey, we're not getting enough movement on this guy in a key window of the block, right? So it's things like that, or maybe huge in protection.
Here's Femi Babalola for his first offensive series at quarterback. Was our player to watch pregame. He dances out of pressure, and he takes Kai Micatrato for a ride across the 45 into Brentwood territory. And this is what Femi Babalola did a week ago against Oakland. 3 touchdown passes, including this 65-yarder to Donovan Starr in an electric overtime victory over the powerhouse that are the Oakland Patriots. Babalola with some big plays in this game. He'll hand off up the middle here to Dowland, who has the UA Local 572 first down. But the biggest play of all, the 2-point conversion to Patrick Sullivan to win that game. Will Hester told us this week that he was going to go for 2 no matter what. Knew that if they got the ball second in overtime and scored a touchdown, that would be the decision, and it paid off. And
when we watched Babalola last year at the tail end of that season, he was using his tools, but he was a little indecisive.
Holding on the offense, number 55. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Second down.
He knew he had talent, but he didn't know how to apply it. He looked a lot more poised last week, especially in such a big game on the road. It was very impressive.
A holding call will set back the Raptors again. It's called on left guard Riggs Hester, the son of head coach Will Hester. Makes it 2nd and 11. An early movement. Play is blown dead again. Another flag down.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, number 15. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So this is the winning play last week. Femi Babalola to tight end Patrick Sullivan, who gets under the football. And then it was celebration time for the Raptors to keep them undefeated coming into the last week of the regular season.
Yeah, it was a good play, good dial-up.
Babalola over the middle will dial it up to Max Kimpel, who's got a first down catch. The senior wideout comes open for a 17-yard gain.
Yep, just going into a 6-man protection. Plenty of time for Babalola to sit in there and step it up. And what a great job of just getting right underneath the 3rd level.
Handoff. Slipping at the 40 is Dowland, the junior. Was the lead returning rusher from last season coming into 2024. This will bring up 2nd and long.
A lot of ugly football on 1st and 2nd down from both teams tonight. A lot of penalties, but when it comes down to 3rd down, they're bringing it.
Play action. Babalola dumps it down to Sullivan, and he slips across the 35. Flag comes down late. So 2nd straight play where we've seen players slipping up on the turf.
And I think our six or so the flags are falling. There's this disease in football. One thing happens and it just rolls down. Imagine an avalanche. It starts with one pile of snow and it just rolls downhill.
Looks like it's going to be on Ravenwood. Here's Billy Pittman.
Block in the back on the offense, number 13. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 2nd down.
It's the receiver, Max Kimple. We'll make it a 2nd and longer.
Kimple was key on that block to start for their opening touchdown. That'll be number 13 on your screen. That's a iffy one. Again, at the end of the day, the referee's call. I wouldn't call it. I think that's decent football.
Spot foul, so only loses Ravenwood 2 yards. 2nd and 10. Babalola looking deep, throwing deep into the end zone. That's caught. Touchdown Ravenwood. How about that to make up for the penalty? 42 yards, Babalola to Kimple, and the Raptors extend the lead.
This is what I'm talking about with Babalola. He has all the talent, but he sits there, trusts his 6-man protection. The back, Dowland even has to pick someone up, does a great job on the linebacker, and he calmly keeps his eyes downfield, steps into that throw to make it perfect, and what a job, you said it, by Kimple to redeem himself after the penalty.
Extra point good. And Ravenwood leads 14-3. Max Kimple hauls in his 4th touchdown catch of the season. Raptors by 11 in the Battle of the Woods. Ravenwood by 11 early 2nd quarter as we take a break for financial literacy with Wilson Bank and Trust.
At the beginning of every football season, a team sits down and makes a game plan. Let Wilson Bank and Trust help you create your financial game plan. Protect your credit while navigating real-life obstacles by paying off credit cards and bills each month. Financial goals requires complex decisions and smart budgeting. It's always a good idea to prepare now for the future. Like every great coach knows their team, we know our community. We understand your needs and have the winning plays to help you achieve success. Let's craft a game-winning financial strategy that fits you.
Bruno Reagan, Lucas Panzica up in the booth with you. Sammy Kincaid down on the sidelines in this Region 6-6A championship game. Undefeated Ravenwood, 8-1 Brentwood. Rivalry matchup in the final week of the regular season, and a 5-play, 52-yard drive puts Ravenwood up 11 on a long ball from Babalola to Kimple, the 8th touchdown pass of the year for junior quarterback Femi Babalola.
It's so interesting to see a 2-quarterback. How rare is it to have a 2-quarterback system? And then how rare is it to not have any controversy around it? Because these guys accept that role. They love it. They love each other. I mean, that's a testament to Hester and the team he has over there. that how often do you see a 2-quarterback system work? It really doesn't. Back-to-back explosive plays from these guys, that's what separates them and makes them the new number 1 team in the state.
Now Brentwood in a hole. And Crabtree kicks to Merrill, who will field it and run with it across midfield, bumped out of bounds in Ravenwood territory. Excellent return by sophomore Jones Merrill, and we'll see if that gives this Bruins offense a spark. Down 2 scores on the road.
The percentages, Lucas, of success for an offense to score from the 90-yard line, their own 90 to the 80, it's astronomical. Then to the 70, if you look at the statistics, a big jump again. When you're at your own 50, for a lot of teams that execute at an average level, it's almost guaranteed scores in this, right? So Brentwood really, I'm not going to say it's a must-score situation, but Ravenwood's putting a lot of pressure early. We need to see some conversion on 1st and 2nd down out of Brentwood's offense.
So they mark it right at midfield. And J.C. White back out with the Brentwood offense. Well, hand off. Gavin Nelson with room down the left side. Nelson's dragged down. 18 yards for the senior back. Only his 2nd carry, but there is a flag down.
Good job by Nelson, keeping his eyes up the entire time, even with backfield pressure. As the Ravenwood crowd starts roaring, I believe that would signal.
Holding on the offense, number 23. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Landon Okla, the tight end, called for it. And Clint Finch will pull out a 1st and 17 play call here.
I love the squat. What a coaching move right there in the squatting position for Coach Finch. Both these teams having trouble with some penalties early. Ravenwood more so.
Clayton Merrill, the man in motion. White trying to bubble it out to Nelson. It's picked off. No, it's dropped. Incomplete. Austin Mayfield had it dead to rights. And you can see the disappointment in the senior outside linebacker.
That's as close as you can get, right? Again, you're playing good defense, and there's still more defense to be played. So next play mentality. Good job by Mayfield to at least be in the right spot, right? But there's 2 ways to attack a screen. Either you go all out for it or you settle in. Ravenwood, they weren't able to settle in. So they did just enough to make White drop back too far and have to throw a looper.
2nd and 17. White on the move, lofts downfield, incomplete. Was looking for Greer there. And now Brentwood, after starting the drive right at midfield, following a good kick return by Jones Merrill, will face 3rd and 17 in their own territory.
There are no good play calls for 3rd and 17, and they opted for their screen choice on 2nd down. Again, a good choice. 2nd down is a down where people aren't really expecting those type of plays, and you can get some effectiveness. But now the Ravenwood D-line, while they're going to think pass rush, they're also going to think be clear and be ready for the open field plays.
Four-man rush. White is swallowed up, still on his feet, and now brought down. Sam Rohan, Kenner Schlitt, plenty of black jerseys in the Brentwood backfield. Bruins will have to punt it away.
Yeah, they turn into a 5-man protection. Ravenwood brings too many guys on one edge for it to convert. You see a White right there signal Nelson out of the backfield, but it's 3rd and 17, so he can't take that flat play and convert, even though his hot route was screaming, please take me.
Kinder punts a high, tight spiral. That is fair caught by Longley inside the 25. Ravenwood gets it back up 11 in the Battle of the Woods on MyTV 30.
Welcome back to Ravenwood, where they currently lead Brentwood 14-3, and I am currently joined by the executive producer of Friday Night Rivals, Steve Mann. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Very excited to have you out here.
It's great to be here, Sammy. It's just a wonderful fall night. It is really, you can feel it in the air tonight.
Yes, it definitely feels like football weather, and it's pretty incredible what we do every single Friday night, but it's not possible without the sponsors. I know you want to give some thanks tonight.
No doubt. You know, as we wrap up our regular season and go into the playoffs, great organizations like the Tennessee Army National Guard, Bart Durham, and Sonic, who is now our Scholar Athlete sponsor, who will be giving away a $10,000 scholarship at the end of the season to an award-winning student athlete.
That's fantastic. And I know that you're doing it here in the Nashville market, but you're also doing it in cities across the country. How many games go on Friday nights?
Yeah, Sammy, across the entire year, we'll produce over 500 games, high school football and basketball games throughout the United States. But what's most important to us, Sammy, is the give-backs to the students and to the schools. We are going to give back at the end of this season. We will have given back over $5 million in scholarships and school grants to the schools that have participated in Friday Night Rivals and high school hoops throughout the country.
That is absolutely incredible, giving back $5 million, and people can probably hear behind us. It's pretty loud here. We'll talk about this atmosphere we have here tonight.
Sammy, this is a great atmosphere. I'm privileged. I get to go around the country and see different high schools and see the different student sections. And I can tell you, in Williamson County, absolutely all their schools have one of the best student sections in the United States.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you for every opportunity you give to everyone on this broadcast.
We love it because this tonight and what we're seeing here tonight and the experience throughout the season is what Friday Night Rivals is all about.
So, well, guys, we'll send it up to you in the booth.
Thanks, Sammy. Steve, could not agree more. What a culmination of the 2024 regular season here with this rivalry matchup. And the Raptors feeding Ben Hubbard on this drive. As he picks up a few there. Hubbard, the MTSU commit, who really popped off last week against Oakland. Bruno, 109 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, and his season total is at 212 and 2 touchdowns. So biggest game of his season. Had some nagging injuries early throughout, and they made it a point to get him the football, and it paid off last week.
Yeah, what a time to come back, too. You know, knocking off number 1 Oakland, and now you're in your rivalry game to try and complete an undefeated regular season.
Chance deals it out across the middle. The third play of the drive goes to Patrick Sullivan, the tight end. Let's go back down to Sammy Kincaid for something on the coaching help Will Hester's getting down there.
Yeah, if you look at the young lady that's sitting next to Coach Hester, that is actually Rhea Carthon. Her dad, her last name might sound a little familiar because her dad is Rand Carthon, the GM of the Tennessee Titans. And because of her dad, she said, hey, one day I want to get into coaching. And so Coach Hester said, hey, why don't you signal the plays next to me? And she told me before the game she either wants to get into coaching with football or basketball. She's also the manager of the women's basketball team. She gave up playing to become the manager because she really wants to get involved in coaching.
Wow, great stuff, Sammy. Thank you. Rhea, a junior at Ravenwood, a star safety on the girls' flag football team at Ravenwood High School, and a piece of this 9-0 start to the season for the Raptors.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Chance will tuck and run. Sheds the tackle. Has the first down and plenty more. Maverick Chance into Brentwood territory. UA Local 572 first down. The premier trainer of workers in all aspects of the piping, plumbing, welding, and HVAC industry. UA Local 572.
Yeah, if you give Chance 6 yards before he gets any contact, he's going to eventually get 5 or 6 more.
And here he is again with a head of steam. Maverick Chance across the 30. Part of this dual quarterback system for the Raptors. We mentioned it last week. He reminds his head coach of Goodpasture legend and former Navy quarterback Keenan Reynolds. Just with that toughness, the ability to run the football, but throw it with touch and accuracy when he needs to.
Yeah, he showed off a lot of good, and I've talked about how efficient he is too, right? He's not out there making a million moves or anything. He's constantly gaining yardage, being efficient with all the work he does.
After a 9-yard run, he'll hand it off this time, and Pace cuts up field, tackled inside the Brentwood red zone, and Ravenwood just motoring down the field on this series. trying to extend a run of 14 unanswered points. Raptors looking to avenge not one but 2 losses to Brentwood last season.
It's a good job by Ravenwood cutting out the penalties on this drive.
Chance will take it himself. He is met, pushed out of bounds. Mason Ray, an outside linebacker with some Ivy League offers on the table, pushing him out of bounds to bring up 2nd and long. Stay with us for the U.S. Navy halftime report. We'll highlight this week's Sonic Scholar athletes, have participating school administrator interviews, plus highlights from here and across the nation and much more. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. Chance wants to throw. He might run, and he will. Across the 10, Maverick Chance. Stiff arm as he's slung down. Will Turner with the tackle, but it is a UA local 572 run by the junior quarterback. 1st and goal for the Raptors.
See, Chance was in a little bit of dilemma. He's like, do I throw it? Do I pull it? Do I throw it? He's getting a little bit too relaxed with that ball also. It's extending a bit, especially in these positions right here where you're in a surefire scoring position, whether it be 3 or 7 points. Just, I would like to see a little bit more care of that football.
Whistles as Brentwood will take its 2nd time out of the half. Up against it here, the Raptors with the ball, 1st and goal, under 4 minutes to go in the half. This feels like a big moment for a Brentwood defense that has been the star of the show in 2024 for the Bruins.
Yeah, they've done a good job, and I mean, they started out really strong, especially on 1st and 2nd down. They kind of weren't able to take advantage of all the penalties Ravenwood had, though, right? Explosive plays have been the name of the game on those drives. So even if you take out those 2 explosive touchdown plays, the game would look very different, right? But it's just a little bit over the top. And then some open field tackling around the middle in the 3rd level. That's where they're struggling right now. Just unprecise at certain points.
Brentwood trying to come up with the Bass Tire stop of the game. Later in the 4th quarter, we'll tell you what that is. And it's a Bruins defense that is coordinated by Michael Kane. You see him there, huddled up with his players. Clint Finch said he is as good a defensive coordinator as he has ever worked with. And really the surprise of the season, returning only 1 starter and being as lights out as they have been. But they are being called upon now as Ravenwood has worked its way inside the Brentwood 10. 1st and goal on the 9. Chance rolling, floating, back of the end zone. Incomplete. Max Kimple was trying to do his best Garrett Wilson impression there.
And it was only 2 days you were able to get that one in. Nice, Lucas. Good on top of the
tight window on that one. Speaking of star receivers, Van Jefferson in the house, Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver, enjoying his bye week and coming back to his alma mater, Ravenwood High School. Really cool to see him down on the field pregame. Maverick Chance probing up the middle. So here comes 3rd and goal. This feels like a huge play for the Brentwood defense.
And I have to imagine also Ravenwood's going to consider 4-down territory here as well. So they might look to negate those 3 points that Brentwood had earlier. But for Brentwood, they're doing great on a lot of things, but I would like to see just a little bit more backfield pressure. Again, a lot of teams have different philosophies. Some are bend, don't break. Some are disrupt the passer, right? But if you get into the backfield, that's the best way to sort of neutralize these guys when they get ahead of steam. They can make more go with less.
This is Maverick Chance's drive. Wants to throw, and he darts it into the end zone. Touchdown, Ravenwood. Ben Hubbard, 3rd touchdown of the year. And the Raptors are soaring in the first half at home.
Chance, again, having these tight windows. And he, again, so you remember his first pass, he kind of throws that dart sidearm to Starr. Well, now he does the same thing to Hubbard. Just a good read on the coverage around his targets.
Carlos Guerra knocks in the extra point. Ravenwood leads Brentwood 21-3 in the Battle of the Woods. And Ben Hubbard has come alive late in the season for this team. The future MTSU Blue Raider, Will Hester, said last week at Oakland was the first game where Hubbard really felt like himself, overcoming some of those early injuries. And he puts Ravenwood up 18 in the first half. Still a lot of game left, but the Raptors got to be happy with the way things have started here at home.
See Hubbard celebrating with his coach, Chris Rowland. Certainly a good influence on the young man, football-wise.
So the Bruins will get it back with 2:53 on the clock. And Ravenwood, a reminder, will receive the second half kickoff. So massive drive upcoming for the Brentwood offense.
Still 3 timeouts, too, as we take a look at our scoring summary. 12 plays, 78 yards, 4 minutes off the clock. Capped off with that pass from Chance to Hubbard.
Ravenwood keeping it away from Clayton Merrill. They boot it again to Jones Merrill, ranging across the middle of the field. Clayton Merrill had a second half kickoff return for a touchdown last year in the second round playoff game where Brentwood eliminated Ravenwood. So there you see his younger brother Jones getting a lot of the kick returns as Ravenwood tries to keep it away from number 4. So here comes the offense and quarterback J.C. White.
I don't even think when you look at the score, it's not even Brentwood's offense playing, bad or anything like that. Ravenwood's defense is just getting so much pressure in the backfield.
Merrill in motion. White guns it downfield. It's caught. The tight end, Landon Okla, dragged down. It'll be spotted at the Ravenwood 36-yard line. And that is a UA Local 572 36-yard pitch and catch.
Brentwood still only opting for 5-man protection, but right there they give White some time. And if you give White time, you see that he'll find as he goes through all of his reads, finds his guys. Could be an option for our Bart Dillon play of the game coming up later in the fourth quarter.
White looking to build a comeback to state his case. 1st and 10. The junior gives to Nelson, who burrows up the middle for a gain of 2. That's his 3rd carry. Are you surprised we haven't seen more of Gavin Nelson tonight?
Absolutely. And it's only, I'm going to say only, right? We're going into halftime. So you'd like to see Nelson be around the 10, 12 carries or targets marks, because he is the balance, right? He rushes over 550 rushing yards on the season, over 400 receptions. You need to get him involved to go win on the road here.
They send Nelson in motion here. Fake the screen out to him. White's got room to run, trips up but stays on his feet. Sticks the ball out, is short of the first down, but a nice run by White to make it 3rd and short for Brentwood.
It's a good job here by White. He sees that pressure right up the middle from Ravenwood, specifically number 7, Matt Anderson. He just cuts to the outside, is able to make some plays, showing off some athleticism on the outside.
Clock ticking down. Brentwood with only 1 timeout remaining. White completes to his tight end, Okla, and this spot is going to be awfully close. They're going to call it 4th and inches. Offense on the field.
Look for a freeze call. Might just try to draw him off sides.
Under center goes White. Sneaks it. And he has the first down. A UA Local 572 first down to the Ravenwood 25. Briefly stops the clock, but we are under 30 seconds now in the second quarter.
No clock play for Brentwood.
White gonna run up the middle again. White eating stripes here across the 10, diving for the pylon, and out of bounds, just short. 12 seconds left, it'll stop the clock, but J.C. White with the effort to try and get the touchdown.
And what a risky move. Only about 20 seconds left on that play, going right up the middle, only 1 timeout. So if he gets tackled, it's essentially the timeout used and probably a field goal. Looked a little close there at the end, too, Lucas. Might have been a score, but going to force him to go for it.
He'll rush under center again, trying to push it up the middle. White waiting on the call. Looks like he'll be short. A yard short of the goal line, and Brentwood is forced to spend its final timeout of the half with 2 seconds remaining.
A risky call. That's about 3 yards right there to call that with only 1 timeout. The ball actually comes out there at the end, and White just so happens to fall right on top of it. Take a look again. Let's see if we can see it from this angle. The ball flops out, and White just sort of falls on top of it.
Right at the bottom of the pile there.
Watch the ball just slip out right here. Football's out. Nobody else knows it. Live football. White picks it up from between his legs and hauls it back in. Actually, a good play by White there.
They add a few seconds to the clock, 6 seconds. So if you're Brentwood, you're out of timeouts. Do you think about a quick pass here to try and get it in the end zone? You're at the point where maybe it's worth it to go for it anyway instead of kicking the field goal right there on the 1. A lot of options here for Clint Finch.
I think field goal's out of the question. If I'm on the road down 21-3, you have to go for it. Then there's really 2 options from there. White's been good, and he has the running option too. He's shown that he can run tonight, so you got to pass and run from him. Or you go to Nelson and make that your statement like, hey, we need to get you in the game and involved here, so we're going to call your number here. That's the only 2 ways I see this one going.
The U.S. Navy halftime report coming up in just moments. Highlights from across the country. We'll highlight this week's Sonic Scholar Athlete and more. Sonic and the United States Navy sponsoring our halftime show. Stay tuned. White, hands off. Nelson, stymied at the goal line. He's driven back. Brentwood out of timeouts. That'll end the half with a goal line stand. Jalen Pollard will send his Raptors into the locker room with the 21-3 lead.
For every 10 defensive backs that exist in the planet of football, there's always one that will lay the wood no matter what. And Pollard has been all over the field tonight, making huge plays, has great tight coverage, and comes up huge for Ravenwood to go into halftime with a 21-3 lead.
The son of former Titans safety Bernard Pollard coming down to make the hit and keeping 7 points off the board. What a finish to the half for the Raptors. Sammy Kincaid down on the field with Ravenwood head coach Will Hester.
Coach Hester, that was a huge stop that you had right there. What's really your message going into the locker room right now?
We just got to keep playing. Our defense has had 2 great stops, held them to a field goal one time in the red area, got a stop right there. We get the ball to start the second half. We need to do something with it. We're up 2 scores, a little over 2 scores right now, so in a good spot, and we got to finish.
Yeah, and Femi's playing a really great game right now. I mean, offensively, you're playing a really great game right now. What do you have to do to make sure that he stays and your offense stays successful?
Just got to cut down the penalties. We had a few penalties that could have hurt us right there. We just got to keep doing what we're doing.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sammy. Coach Will Hester will head into the locker room. His Raptors lead Brentwood 21-3 in the Battle of the Woods. The U.S. Navy halftime report coming up next.
You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
We're proud to present the Sonic Scholar Athlete of the Week. This week's Scholar Athlete is Rachel Hawes from Brentwood High School. Rachel has been team captain for the past 2 years, has led the team to 3 state titles in cross country and once in track. And she scored 36 on the ACT, as well as being a National Honor Society board member. This All-Star is now entered to win a $10,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to our Sonic Athletes of the Week. Live free, eat Sonic.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
I'm now joined by Mr. Kevin Kydell, principal of Brentwood High School, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. And tell me, what is going on at Brentwood High School?
Well, I tell you, first of all, thanks for having us. We really appreciate you guys coming out. The opportunity for our kids to play football on television. You know, not a lot of these kids are going to play in college, so this is a great opportunity. The Friday night rivals that you do, coming out here to see a great contest between Brentwood and Ravenwood is something exciting that our kids will really enjoy and have as an experience for life. What's going on at Brentwood High School? You know, we just got our National Merit semifinalist list earlier in this fall. We had 21 National Merit semifinalists, so we're really excited for the success that those kids have had. We had 25 kids with a perfect score on the ACT. They just took it again last week. We had another 25 with a 35 on their ACT. So it's just amazing the types of success those kids are having. One of those kids, I think you guys are honoring at halftime today, Rachel Hawes, she is the on our cross country team as well as being the scholar athlete, and they just won their seventh straight region title and going for their 4th straight state title next week. So really excited about the success that those kids had. Our football team's down 21-3, but they've had a great year so far. 8-1 on the season, so we're really excited what Coach Finch does with those kids. It's a great experience to be part of our athletic program. Earlier in the fall, all of our teams have had success. Our volleyball team was state runner-up. Coach Rucker did a fantastic job with those young ladies. And our golf team won their 2nd straight state championship. Coach Saunders had an amazing season with those kids. So it was really exciting to see those kids have such success. And, you know, it feels great to, you know, be able to, how much work they put in, the time and commitment that they do, the discipline that they have. And it's great to see kids experience success. You always hear the negative about youth today, and we see the exact opposite. I just see our marching bands walking by. They had their last contest last week, and Mr. Simpson and Mr. Rogers did a fantastic job. In fact, at MTSU, they received the Esprit de Corps Award, which was for the best spirited band in the entire competition. So they put countless hours into it. The same thing is true with our choir kids, our theater kids. So really, it's a great opportunity for all of our kids to be showcased. You're going to get to hear the Ravenwood Band. And so in Williamson County, we're really excited about all the opportunities our kids have and the successes that they're having.
Yeah, and that's absolutely fantastic, how much success they're having on their respective playing surfaces, but also in the classroom. It just sounds like there's so many wonderful things going on at Brentwood High School. So thank you so much for joining me tonight for another Battle of the Woods. It's always special. Exactly. So thank you so much. And thank you to Western Kentucky for this educator spotlight. Whenever we come back from this break, we're going to have highlight stats, a whole lot more for you. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University. You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
Welcome back to Ravenwood, where they are currently leading Brentwood High School, and I have with me Assistant Principal Miss Leslie Harries. And thank you so much for hosting us tonight. I appreciate you hosting us.
But I just want to say before we start, you're in Brentwood blue. We have a blackout tonight. I'd like you to put this on for the interview before we start talking. That's okay.
I can do that.
Awesome.
Is that better?
G2 bar, absolutely. G2 bar.
All right. Well, next, there's a lot of programs that you have at Ravenwood. Can you tell me about some of these programs?
Sure. We talk a lot about Friday nights and Friday night football having so much hype here at Ravenwood, but it truly is a collective effort for us to showcase student leadership and all the programs that we have here. We start every game with our Raptor Walk. It's a tradition led by our award-winning dance and cheer and our band, and then we kick off every game with a J-ROTC presentation of colors and our choir, which is fantastic. The whole choir joins us, and then we actually showcase a lot of our student talent within the game. So our scoreboard, as you see, has a video board with it. Our digital arts and design class produces all the material for it. We have our own TV and film crew on the sidelines each and every night. Even our health science girls are really on the sidelines providing that sideline care. And so it truly is a community and collective effort that we're so proud of here at Ravenwood.
Well, I can tell you that the TV crew, we were saying, is that really a steady cam on the sideline? We were impressed by what you guys have on the sideline. But you also have some CTE programs that I know you want to highlight. Tell me about those.
Yeah, so it's kind of what we talked about there. So it's the digital art and design class. We have a social media and marketing class. It's going to highlight everything that you see tonight. We're going to reproduce it. We're going to produce the stats, and our student body's going to have a chance to do that. Really proud of this senior class and the student leadership that they have. We have student section leaders. It's an application process. They put a lot of time and energy into it, and these guys have been fantastic. The energy here tonight alone, if you guys have seen it, is just unmatched in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely incredible. This Battle of the Woods, we knew coming into it, it was going to be a lot of people here, high energy, and just talk about having another Battle of the Woods.
Right. So G2 bar is kind of a phrase that we've coined over the years. Will Hester, our head coach right now, coined it his first few years here at Ravenwood. And when he left, it kind of died down a little bit, but the second he got back to campus, it really kind of exploded. And everything we do is it's great to be a Ravenwood Raptor. And that's really the culture. Dr. Pam Vaden has done a great job kind of setting that. She's, 22, 23 years at the helm, the only principal here. I'm just really, really proud of our community as a whole coming together, especially on nights like tonight.
Yeah, well, I hope you're proud that I have on the black as well, and I appreciate you hosting us again tonight.
Just keep wearing that black.
All right, well, thank you again to Western Kentucky for this Educator Spotlight. Whenever we come back from this break, we're going to have highlights, stats, a lot more for you, so stick with us. We'll be right back from Ravenwood.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
Halftime in the Battle of the Woods, all Ravenwood in the first half of this Region 6-6A championship game in the regular season finale of the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Glad to have you back with us up in the booth alongside Bruno Reagan. I'm Lucas Panzica, Sammy Kincaid down on the sidelines, and started off, Bruno, Brentwood with the football as we'll go to our highlights, and marching right down the field, putting together a 17-play series.
Was their first and second downs they struggled, but right on third down he just became money and was able to take it all the way out to the red zone. We see right there he shows off a little bit of his agility. He can throw sidearm when he has to, when he gets into a pickle. And then right here, Ravenwood on defense, able to get into the backfield. That was big, number 95, Sam Rohan. He caused a lot of disruptions and a backwards pass that actually backed Brentwood up on the same series. Brentwood had to settle for a field goal.
Keenan Fisher from 27 yards. That put Brentwood on the board. Ravenwood had a quick response to the speedster, the Auburn commit, Donovan Starr, 55 yards.
Yeah, Starr does a good job of picking his spots on the field. You know, a little bit unorthodox way to get there, but he also showed off that big-time SEC athleticism. Great throw by Chance there.
Brentwood unable to move the ball on offense on its next drive, and Femi Babalola shows off that arm. Max Kimple in the back of the end zone, 42 yards, and the big plays keep coming.
Great poise, sees his rush on the edge, and he steps up into the pocket, steps up into the throw, and places a dime of football. There's guys in the NFL, I'd say, that probably have struggled to make that throw right there.
That made it 14-3 Ravenwood, and this just added to the lead. Maverick Chance taking his turn, a little dart to the end zone for Ben Hubbard.
Yeah, you see 5 white jerseys on your screen. You see Hubbard just find just enough of a window. Good job by Chance right there. And we see Brentwood, they failed to convert on halftime, and that was Pollard coming down the field. The defensive back played well, covered well all game, but really had his moment there on the last play of the half to save points against Brentwood.
So we take a look at the halftime stats. The theme was balance for Ravenwood, and they've got it. 150 passing, 100 yards rushing, outgaining Brentwood 250 to 162. Penalties on both sides, 7 combined flags in the first half, but the Bruins got to dig out of a hole here in the second if they want to win this region.
And if I'm Ravenwood, I think if I was in that locker room, they'd probably be preaching, hey, we still have to be more effective in the run game, right? That's something they want to hang their hat on. So they've done a great job, specifically with the 2-quarterback system, of finding that balance. Brentwood, they're having such a hard time with that Ravenwood front. It's just, there's not much up the middle. And if you can't run up the middle, you can get as silly as you want on the edges. If you can't run up the middle, you're not going to have a good balanced rushing attack.
Ravenwood trying to finish the regular season undefeated for only the second time in school history. They brought out all the stops tonight. A Red Hawk in the house. An electric environment here in Williamson County. Raptors lead the Bruins by 18. Each week during halftime of our Friday Night Rivals broadcast, we'll be showcasing outstanding Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals game highlights from across the country. Let's check out some of the best from last week's action.
The best Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
Isaiah Hopewell to do the kick, but they fake it. They're going to have something good happen here. They throw it and complete it. Down the sideline. No flags. Touchdown, Judson Rockets.
Holy cow, look at the Judson sideline. They are going nuts. Don, I'm watching this play going. I'm going, come on, H.
He sprinted down in the first one. Now the second one.
Onside kick. And it goes right to Riverside. Harry Armstrong throwing out all the stops.
The pass rush has generally been 3. Deep ball looking for Stewart, and Stewart brings it home inside the 40-yard line. That's good for 40.
Stewart will be a star at the college level and beyond.
Shoulders. Ostov, 230 pounds. Watch this right in here. Boom.
Going for 2. 2 unbeaten records on the line. Throws left side. It's caught. It's caught, and Ravenwood wins. And Ravenwood is 9-0. Back at Ravenwood High School, where the Raptors lead the Bruins 21-3. It's the 27th edition of the Battle of the Woods right here on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law on MyTV 30. Alongside Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica. Sammy Kincaid will be down with Brentwood head coach Clint Finch shortly. Ravenwood will get the football to start the third quarter in this Region 6-6A championship game, so the Bruins will have to play defense first, and Sammy is ready with Coach Finch as we go down to the field.
Coach, what was your message to your team in the locker room?
That, obviously we've won 8 ball games this year. We're a good ball team. Obviously being down 21-3 isn't great, but I think we have the capability to come out, be who we are, and get ourselves back in this ball game and just stay calm, keep playing the ball game, and play the way we've played all year.
And what have you really seen from Ravenwood's defense that you address with your offense to really get your offense executing when they need to in the red zone?
I think we've done a really good job in the past. Now we're not running the ball very well, but we have been down there. We feel like we should have 14 points, and we've got 3. So the ability to finish drives will be big this half.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Sammy. Clint Finch's Brentwood Bruins 8-1, 7 wins in a row since a 16-6 loss at Brentwood Academy back in week 2. And Bruno, it's a tall mountain to climb against a Ravenwood defense that has shut out 4 different opponents this season. Before last Friday, this Ravenwood defense had only allowed 40 points total on the season. And Brentwood down 18 and having to come back on the road in the second half. Tall task.
Yeah, going into our game last week to bring it up again, I mean, the whole discourse was kind of the Oakland offense versus the Ravenwood defense, that kind of heavyweight matchup we were going to see. And now, I mean, it was a heavyweight matchup back and forth in that game, but now we're getting to see how much of a level they're at in this game to expose to our viewership and our audience, because it has been nonstop pressure, edges, middle. We got defensive backs making, half-stopping tackles. It's all over the place for this Ravenwood defense.
Stakes are high, as they typically are when these two meet. We'll take a look at the Region 6-6A standings. Ravenwood and Brentwood tied at the top, 4-0. Tonight's outcome will decide the region champ, who will go on to host in the postseason up until either the semifinals or Chattanooga. And this region is lined up with Region 5. So the region champ will host either Smyrna or Cane Ridge in the first round of the TSSAA postseason a week from tonight. Let's go back down to Sammy Kincaid.
For the Bart Durham Injury Law Injury Report, happy to report that it is the same as the beginning of the game. No injuries to report. That is your Bart Durham Injury Law Injury Report. Back to you.
Well, that's good news, Sammy. Nice luxury for both coaches here in Week 11 of the 2024 season. Both teams making their way out onto the field. Don't expect Ravenwood to take the foot off the gas. Will Hester told us this week they remember those 2 losses to Brentwood in the regular season finale and in the playoffs a year ago. He said there's no point in ignoring it. We talked through the emotion, looking for the second undefeated regular season in school history, and the team that stands in our way is the one that beat us twice last year.
And they're in a good position to do it right here. They're going to receive the football up 21-3 again, and they've had success with both quarterbacks in their dual quarterback system. Nothing's really gone wrong outside of the penalties on offense.
5 penalties against Ravenwood in the first half, 2 on Brentwood. Student section is bouncing. They were here 90 minutes before kickoff tonight. Always electric out here in Williamson County when it comes to high school football. The Bruins will kick it away with Keenan Fisher, a junior kicker. Good at getting it into the end zone. He'll do that here. Touchback. And Ravenwood's offense will come out with Femi Babalola getting his turn at quarterback in this alternating 2-quarterback system. Will Hester said before this season, he always believed in that phrase. If you got 2 quarterbacks, you've got none. Until this group with 2 juniors that had phenomenal preseasons, both voted team captains, Babalola and Chance. They alternate series. They don't change the play calling. And it's got them at 9-0 and a half away from 10-0 in region championship.
Last week we got to see, the talent and the preparation kind of come together for Babalola. But you also kind of don't let his passing fool you in these recent weeks. He's also a big guy.
And they're going to flip it here to, that is Hubbard. coming around in motion. The senior gets 9 out of it to set up 2nd and 1.
A lot of Ravenwood scores last half were set up by explosive plays until that last scoring drive where they had a really good, they took off a lot of clock, covered a lot of ground. But most of it was on the back of explosive plays by Bo Chance and Babalola on the passing game. Now we'll see if they can convert for more efficiency.
Babalola getting his unit organized. Going to throw on 2nd and short. Winging it out. Ball incomplete. Ben Hubbard unable to hang on. It was a nice play made by the Brentwood secondary. Parker Emerson, the free safety, making the hit to break it up.
Yeah, the ball was just in the air for a long time, so it allowed the defensive backs to come in and really, crowd Hubbard. Also affects your ability to catch the pass. When you see it in the air for a long time, you're like, I might get hit when I come down with this.
Whistles on a 2nd down handoff. Flag down.
Prior to the snap, timeout. Ravenwood. Their first charge timeout of the half.
Beg your pardon? Ravenwood. We'll come back to discuss it early in the 3rd quarter. We'll take a break with them. Raptors up 18 at home in the regular season finale here on MyTV 30. Back at Ravenwood High School, where the Raptors have the ball early 3rd quarter, leading arch rival Brentwood 21-3. The Battle of the Woods for the Region 6-6A title here on MyTV 30 as you get a look at Ravenwood principal Pam Vaden alongside our own Sammy Kincaid. A huge thanks to Ravenwood High School for having us out to this picturesque scene as you look at the hills behind Sammy and Pam there, the sunset behind that picture. One of the most beautiful in Middle Tennessee. Both teams making their way back out on the field for a 3rd and short after Ravenwood took its first time out of the half early. Babalola gives up the middle. Scooting across the marker for the 1st down is Davis Dowling. Junior back, converts the BMC Metalworks 1st down for the Raptors.
Dallin haven't done a good job in pass protection for most of the first half. It's good to see them let him carry the rock a little bit as we take a look at Femi Babalola and his numbers for tonight. 4 of 5, 76 yards, 1 explosive play for his touchdown, the junior.
Throws here on 1st down, or looking to throw as he is wrapped up, hit, sacked, ball loose, Ravenwood able to fall on it. Big hit by Jack Lopez, the senior defensive end, who came powering through. It was jarred loose by Will Turner, number 1. But the hero for Ravenwood is Riggs Hester, the senior son of head coach Will Hester, the left guard.
That was something Brentwood didn't have in the first half. They didn't have a lot of pass rush. They didn't have a lot of disruption right there. Lopez able to get into the backfield, force that pressure. Also a good job by Hester. As an offensive lineman, you're always taught to finish through the whistle wherever the ball is, and Hester's able to fall on it and save the turnover.
Second and long. Keep it on the ground. Dolan rolled down before the 30. So now a big chance for this Brentwood defense to get off the field on the opening series of the second half. To bring up 3rd and 16 for Ravenwood.
Don't pencil in just yet. We've seen 3rd and 15 pluses converted tonight. Especially with the arm strength of that man right there, the junior quarterback, Femi Babalola.
Look at that. How many high school students get to say they got to hang out with the Red Hawk in their student section? Screen right side, Hubbard, well short of the original line of scrimmage. And that brings up 4th and long. Ravenwood will punt it away. One first down on the opening series of the second half, but the Bruins will get it back.
It's exactly what you needed if you're Brentwood right there. Come out at halftime. Ravenwood has the ball already up 21-3, and you just come out with a stop with them only converting 1 first down. That'll give your offense some momentum, and a score right here can start to make things a little bit more interesting.
Clayton Merrill back deep. Dangerous return man for the Bruins. Booted away. And fair caught by Merrill at the 34. So the Bruins will try to mount the comeback. Down 18 with the ball early, 3rd quarter.
Ravenwood High School would like to thank Jeremy Holt, Holt Insurance, for being an MVP partner with Ravenwood Athletics. You deserve a better insurance. Give Jeremy Holt, Holt Insurance, a call for all of your insurance needs. Holt Insurance will be there for you.
Ravenwood up 18 in the 3rd quarter. Remember, Fridays at 6:30, Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live is sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust, and this year it's a pregame show. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick gets you ready for all the action, see the fans, the interviews, and more. Fridays at 6:30. Don't miss it. Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust, who is proud to sponsor local schools and student athletes, both on and off the field. Showing off that Red Hawk in the Ravenwood student section. Bunch of team dads got together, contracted a Falconer out in Jolton to get not one but 2 Hawks out here tonight, as the Raptors try to protect an 18-point lead. Here's Brentwood for its opening drive of the 3rd quarter. And quick dump off to Merrill. He's in the open field. Clayton Merrill tackled across the 45 and into Ravenwood territory, 23 yards. Flag is down.
Yeah, there was a flag down, but if this does stand for whatever reason, or if it's on Ravenwood, that is a perfect wide receiver screen right there. The 2 blockers, the kick out and the back blocker, they both attach at the same time, and Merrill does a good job of hugging them tight and then exposing the open field.
Illegal block in the back on the offense, number 50. Be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Play first down.
It's against senior left tackle Sam Roston, a guy with plenty of military academy commits, Navy, Army, VMI. That's a crushing penalty against the Bruins to make it 1st and long rather than 1st and 10 in Ravenwood territory. White stepping up in the pocket, lets it fly. It's caught across the 45 and right back into Ravenwood territory is the younger Merrill, the sophomore Jones. You know, Clint Finch, as you see the connection from White to Merrill, says he has coached a Merrill every year here at Brentwood since 2017, back when he was the OC for Ron Crawford. First it was Walker, who went on to play at Tennessee, Ole Miss, and now is playing at Wake Forest. And then Jones, the youngest, and Clayton, the senior, who's committed to Austin Peay. White rolls out under pressure and able to juke to the 40 and fall forward for a first down gain of 6.
Ravenwood not getting as much initial pressure as they usually have. You would see typically like a defensive end or a middle guy beat the offensive lineman off of the snap and then force something. But for White right now, he's had some time to move in there, keep his eyes downfield and work. He gets outside on this one, mainly from his own accord. Still gaining good yards. A consistent drive right here for Brentwood.
They really like how he's improved in the run game this season. J.C. White was previously splitting reps with senior Cannon Kinder. Got a chance to talk to White this week on 104.5 The Zone. He said Kinder actually really helped him learn how to play quarterback at the varsity level, but using his legs a little more, and he slips up there trying to scramble on second down, and it brings up 3rd and 5. Commentator's curse.
Yeah,
right
I was going to call you out on it, Lucas. I mean, you cannot time that one better. This is about when Lucas right here said he's been doing a good job with his legs. And then the turf monster, the sniper,
got him.
Whatever nickname, each team has a different nickname. That's one where you watch on film and you just kind of, hey, next play.
I feel like we should send a note to head coach Clint Finch on that one when they're breaking down the film.
Yeah.
Hey, hand up, that one on me, coach.
Maybe a fruit basket.
Big 3rd down. Handoff, Nelson, he's chopped down. Matt Anderson, a tackling machine in the middle of the Ravenwood defense, knifes in for the stop.
It's a read right there, so either can take it. You see Matt Anderson gets to the backfield, sort of pauses in awe a little bit, but still able to make the play.
Brentwood's going to keep the offense on the field for 4th and 6. Down 18 in the region championship. Play clock down to 7. Empty backfield. Time to throw for White. On the move, looking for Merrill, and it's incomplete, but a flag is down. Thought we saw Laundry on the field to the far side. And we do not. It is a turnover on downs. Ravenwood's offense will come out on the field.
Well covered. White rolled out of the pocket. It looked like he was actually going to tuck and run a little bit, but 6 yards would have been a tough to gain with the Ravenwood second level still up a little bit. The third level did a great job covering. Big turnover after what was a Brentwood successful drive up until that point.
Maverick Chance takes over. Caden Pace, the sophomore, is wrapped up by Parker Emerson. This time there is a flag down in the backfield. It's on Ravenwood. Billy Pittman, our white hat tonight.
Holding on the offense, number 9. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
I hear a lot of disgruntled parents in the crowd, but I hate to say that Ravenwood has some pretty egregious holding, as you see on the right side of your screen. That's about as much holding as you can get. These edges with tight ends and receivers, that's where you most often see the holding. Guys who might not be used to block. If it's Sullivan, though, you would expect something a little bit more there. But defensive lineman had him on the inside.
The tight end committed to Bucknell called for it. 1st and 20. Chance looking for room. He gets past 2 Brentwood defenders and is knocked down right at the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 2nd and 20. Might have gained half a yard. But some of the athleticism shown off there by the junior quarterback.
He has to be the most athletic guy I've ever seen run standing straight up. So at some certain points, and it was because of the way he was shifting his body weight, he was standing straight up, just dodging tacklers. One thing that worries me about Chance is he's very loose with that ball control right there when he gets into rushing mode. And you saw right there was a little bit of a bobble at the end of the play. Ravenwood, that's the only way Brentwood can really come back now as the clock ticks down in this third quarter is turnovers.
Chance dumps it down. And that is Sullivan, the tight end, gaining a couple. This will be 3rd and 18.
They have Chance just roll out right here. Keep the ball inbounds and rolling. You're up 21-3. You want to make sure you're being effective with the clock while you have the football. But on 3rd and 18, there's no great calls. Brentwood's defense, they have some linebackers looking in a dog blitz. Brentwood brings more.
Chance flings it deep into double coverage. It's incomplete. Emerson got his hands on it. Brings up 4th and 18. So the Brentwood defense with another stop in the third quarter. Let's run down to Sammy Kincaid. Oh, excuse me, Bruce. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, again, I mean, penalties have sort of stalled their drives. That's the only thing that Ravenwood can really look back on in this game and kind of be critical of.
Let's kick it down to Sammy for a comment on the Brentwood sideline.
Hey guys, I was just listening in to Brentwood's defense whenever they came back from that last defensive drive before this, and you really could hear linebacker Mason Ray really taking charge of this Brentwood defense, telling the guys and even telling the coaches what he saw while they were out there, saying, hey, we got to cross over, make sure we're lining up with these speedy guys so we don't get beat on the outside. You also saw William Turner. I don't know if you guys saw it on the broadcast, but he accidentally grabbed the center for Ravenwood's helmet to celebrate with him, and so the coaches were saying, hey guys, we just got to calm down, focus, we got this.
Thanks, Sammy. And Brentwood will send the offense back out on the field after a 33-yard punt by Drew Crabtree. Just trying to settle things down. The Bruins marched down the field with a 17-play drive on the opening series of the ball game. Had a 1st and goal inside the Ravenwood 10, and were forced to boot a field goal to take the first lead of the night, 3-0 early. Ravenwood since then has ripped off 21 unanswered. 3 touchdown passes, 2 by Maverick Chance, 1 by Femi Babalola. And Brentwood in an 18-point hole on the road here in an electric environment in the Battle of the Woods.
Brentwood started this game off with the football in a 17-play drive. That's where their only 3 points are from. And Ravenwood, they've had some penalty trouble on their offensive side of the football, but they've really been bailed out by 2 explosive plays in 1 consistent drive. The explosive plays were by Babalola and Chance each.
3.5 minutes away from the fourth quarter, where we will select the Bart Durham player of the game. Brentwood trying to claw back in it. White gives to Nelson. They tried to fake some trickeration with the motion, but end up losing 4 on the play.
That's one thing good football teams always find a way to do, is to get your workhorses, your talent, your big dogs, get them in positions to be successful. And Brentwood, for all intents and purposes, they just haven't been able to do that with Nelson tonight.
Austin Mayfield, who's been living in backfields all season long, made the stop. 2nd and 13. Play action. Merrill. Hit down to the 35. That picks up 5. 3rd and 8 for the Bruins offense. Brentwood being outgained 266 to 198 on the night. Coming up in the fourth, player of the game, brought to you by Bart Durham. Ravenwood crowd getting up for a 3rd and long, flinging to the near side, incomplete. Intended for the running back, Gavin Nelson. And it brings up 4th and 8 for the Brentwood Bruins.
Kinder Schlitt for Ravenwood. So they've been running 5-man protection, and the back is just an instant out. They're not keeping them in protection, that being Nelson, but they're also keeping them covered the entire time. So White's facing pressure against the 5-man pro, and he also doesn't have his hot route.
Early movement. Cannon Kinder back deep to punt for Brentwood.
The snap. On the defense, number 1. 5-yard penalty. Replay snap.
Gets it pretty close. Might be talkie time. Maybe a go for it situation. Still on their own side of the field.
Kinder will punt it. Blasts it into the Williamson County Knight, and backtracking to make the fair catch is Longley. Good punt by Kinder. Played a lot of quarterback for the Bruins. That time he pins the Raptors inside their own 20.
Good's definitely a word for it. That was a great punt. He'll take anything behind the 20, flipping the field. But only 2 minutes left to go in the third. Still down 21-3. The score we had going into halftime. A scoreless third quarter. Babalola, the junior quarterback for Ravenwood, secured the overtime win against Oakland last week.
What a thriller that was, 32-31. A battle of unbeatens that Ravenwood survived on the road in Murfreesboro. Babalola flips it forward. Hubbard running through Emerson and to the 30. And he has the BMC Metalworks first down. BMC Metalworks, an industry leader in CNC machining and steel fabrication services, celebrating its 50th year anniversary.
Great job by Hubbard, just getting up the field. I think this speaks more about Brentwood right now. I mean, it takes 5 guys to take down Hubbard. Hubbard's a great player, but he's not a massive individual by any stretch of the imagination.
Babalola looking for a big play again. He's got Kimple just off the hands and incomplete.
Double pass incomplete, headed for Kimple.
Right off the fingertips of the senior wide receiver, who would still be running if he had hauled it in. Tough catch here on the run.
A great pass by Babalola. Could have had maybe an inch off of it right to make it perfect, but if it hits the hands like that, you'd expect it to be caught.
Hand off to Dowland, who slips and falls at the 3, or at the 30 rather. Babalola, 6 of 8 on the night, 94 yards and a touchdown. Impressive performance last week, but 9 of 22, had 1 interception. Coach Will Hester said probably threw a couple more interceptable balls that were not caught. Felt like he got away with a few. So wanted to see some of that efficiency and some of those safer throws tonight. You feel like we've seen that?
Absolutely. And when he does take the big shot, it's all been plays that are out of the way of the defensive backs.
Not a big shot here, just tries to get it near the sticks, but it's bobbled and incomplete. Intended for Sullivan. Another 4th down. Ravenwood will punt it away, and both offenses a little bit stagnant here in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's a lack of execution you'd want to get cleaned up. And I mean, there's a lot on the line tonight. It is handedly in Ravenwood's hands right now. Again, we still have a whole quarter of football to play, but you got to start cleaning things up, because every game after this one, the potential to be your last. Mistakes, they have to be cleaned up before you get into postseason play.
Crabtree, the Brown University commit, punts it to Merrill, who fair catches it on his own 39-yard line. 39-yard boot. And Brentwood, with 46 seconds left in the third, running out of opportunities on offense. Down 18 as they try to build a comeback and maybe give us the play of the game, presented by the Tennessee Army National Guard. We'll tell you what that is coming up in the 4th.
Only 20 minutes from downtown Nashville and WingBladeFalconing.com.
J.C. White, who's been splitting reps all year at quarterback with Cannon Kinder, had a great game against Independence last week, solidified himself to start tonight, tasked with leading the Bruins. A BMC Metalworks first down to get into Ravenwood territory. 18 yards.
A very strong pass over the middle, too. You can't make the mistake of throwing lightly when you're over the middle, because these linebackers, right, they can so quickly shift and follow your eyes. So if you're going to throw over the middle, you got to bring some heat with it. Great job by White.
Nelson in the backfield with him. White on the run, flings it deep. Ravenwood Raptors down. Nine seconds left in the third. As we try to get a read on the Raptor player that's injured, and Billy Pittman will tell us. Looks like PI against Ravenwood.
That was a prototypical offensive player wins over the top. Ball is underthrown for whatever reason, so he turns around and comes back to it. The Ravenwood player, not able to adjust on the football or get his head turned around, draws the pass interference from the contact made by the underthrown football.
Player down was Donovan Starr, the Auburn commit, and it's good to see him walk off alongside his head coach, Will Hester. Starr been a lockdown corner all year. That's the position he'll play in the SEC. But he's brought the heat with some big plays on offense and special teams this season. Had a 55-yard touchdown in the first quarter to put Ravenwood on the board tonight, his fourth receiving touchdown of the year. So good to see him walk off the field. And now Brentwood will try to capitalize on the star corner being on the sideline for the moment. Dallas Stallings, the sophomore, comes in. White's looking that way. Goes down that sideline, incomplete and out of bounds.
Some pressure in the backfield that forced that throw out of White to be away from the spot he'd want, setting up a second and long in what will be the second to last play of the third quarter. We will get one more in off of the incompletion.
Starr back in the game for Ravenwood. 2nd and 10 for Brentwood. Needing points here. White looking that way again on the run, and it's out of bounds and incomplete. Brings up third down, but that is the final play of the third quarter. Brentwood with a hill to climb in the Battle of the Woods. Region Championship on the line tonight here on my TV 30. 3 quarters down, 1 remaining. Ravenwood trying to close out a 21-3 lead to complete just the 2nd undefeated regular season in school history. Brentwood with the football, facing a 3rd down, looking for points to get back into this game. Welcome back. It's the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law on MyTV 30. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you in the booth. Sammy Kincaid on the field. And Brentwood with the 3rd and 10 on the 28 of Ravenwood. White alone in the backfield. Has time. Over the middle, looking for Merrill. It's broken up. Incomplete. Jaden Smitherman, the Southeastern Missouri commit, forces a 4th and 10.
5'11", has the size as Smitherman, the senior defensive back, and gets right into the arc. He arches that left hand up. He extends his own height by committing with one hand. Instead of going to intercept the ball, he plays to deflect it. Great play.
Brentwood with no choice but to go here. Crowd getting loud at Ravenwood. White with a must-have. Rolling out. Flings into the end zone. It's intercepted. Intercepted for the touchback. Donovan Starr, the Auburn commit, with his first INT of 2024. And that will give Ravenwood the football on their own 20-yard line. So they actually lose 8 yards on the pick, but get the stop either way.
Good catch, Lucas. There was a flag on the play. That was on Brentwood holding in the backfield. That'll be declined in favor of the Star. And hey, I don't blame Star. I'm taking, if I'm in high school and I'm on TV in prime time, I'm taking the interception over the 8 yards. So I don't blame the young man at all. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm any better, all right? But that was a good catch. That technically they would gain 8 more yards. See, look, he knows where the camera's at. That's a star right there.
That's a guy ready for the bright lights of the SEC. Ravenwood back on the field with a handoff up the middle. Dragging defenders is Caden Pace. No correction. That's the first carry of the game for Will Harry, the senior tailback. And now for Ravenwood, are you just trying to milk as much clock as you can?
Well, and also, I mean, I wouldn't even look at it as milking. They want to run the football. They want to have a dominant run game. So this is their chance to kind of be like, hey, guys, let's get it back on track before we get into this playoff.
Chance, an excellent runner of the football, but Will Turner climbing on his back to make the stop. Take a look at the stats after the first 3 quarters of this one. The 3rd quarter scoreless out here in Williamson County. Ravenwood, 187 yards in the air, 92 on the ground, outgaining Brentwood 274 to 216, and so far overcoming those 8 penalties, as Chance is brought down at the 30. Got just enough to move the sticks. It's a UA local 572 first down.
Kind of Ravenwood's offense has been kind of stalled, if not stopped, by the Brentwood defense. Coming out of halftime, the Brentwood defense has really stepped up. They came out with some immediate pressure in the backfield to start, and Ravenwood has really not had any mojo. They've also struggled in the first half, but they were able to bank on those explosive plays.
Going up the middle again, keeping it on the ground to Will Harry. Late flag here.
Looks like it's a down the field holding call, Lucas.
Billy Pittman and his crew tonight. This will be the 12th penalty of the night, so well below that 21 mark that this crew threw. 21 accepted penalties both in the Smyrna and Franklin games here at Ravenwood this season. Still time.
Holding on the offense, number 15. A 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
It's the receiver, Silongo.
Yeah, it was just some action down the field, kind of away from the play, where the 2 guys got tangled up, and I think it was a battle of who's going to get on the ground first, and Longley sort of pulled him down.
The marker is showing second down, but now changing to first. It is first and 20. Throw left side. Hubbard makes the catch, and a trailing tackle brings him down near the line to gain. So Ravenwood able to get back the penalty yardage and set up 2nd and 3. Now this is Pace with the carry. Met in the backfield and has nowhere to go.
Ravenwood's best case scenario, I'm sorry to cut you off, Lucas, but they're in this 3rd and short again. If they keep using 2 to 3 downs a series, I mean, we could see 5 to 6 minutes off the clock. Then the score would kind of be in a uncomebackable situation, if you will.
How much of a turning point does it feel like that goal line stand at the end of the first half was for Ravenwood, with Brentwood right there on the doorstep of making it a 21-10 ball game? And instead, here we are, 21-3 with 9 minutes.
Yeah, I think it really affected that phase of the game. Brentwood's defense came back out of half to play, but the offense is still just stagnant.
Chance charging up the middle, shedding tackles, has the first down. He wants more, dragging defenders into Brentwood territory. Tough yardage by Maverick Chance, 15 for a UA Local 572 first down.
The Ravenwood offense is just saying, hey, let's let Chance cook right here, because the edge guys, the tight ends, and the wide receivers of them are all called for holdings. So you see right now, they're just kind of standing in the way. They're getting their hands out of the plays, and they're just like, hey, we're going to let our athlete in Chance get the yardage and not hurt him. So an interesting way of tackling the issue of the penalties Ravenwood's offense has been having on the outside.
Confusion on the handoff. Chance able to make something positive of it. He zigged. Caden Pace zagged. Still gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
A little bit of a mess up there on that handoff. Chance able to secure it and just run. Again, Chance is the one that kind of worries me with the turnovers right now if they're going to keep relying on the rushing side of it. Ravenwood really doing a good job of taking down this clock. They're running some hurry up at the beginning of the series. I think now they're like, hey, let's slow it down a little bit.
Giving to the man in motion. That's Hubbard. Little flip pass to pick up a few. The MTSU commit having a nice surge at the end of the season. Puts him at 8 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown, but this one could come back.
On the offense, number 9, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay the down.
And that's tight end Patrick Sullivan. The penalties keep stacking up for Ravenwood. That's the 10th one of the night.
Majority of them on the tight end and receiving core. Trying to get back to running the football efficiently.
Davis Dowland in the backfield with Chance. Again, they flip to Hubbard. Racing down the left side and scuttling out in Brentwood territory. Pardon me, that's Donovan Starr on the short reception. So 3rd and 9 after the gain of 7. And this going just according to plan for Ravenwood. The run out of bounds does stop the clock, but a long, meticulous drive here for the Raptors formulating, trying to ice this thing away with 7:20 left.
Looks like Brentwood shifting into a nickel personnel for this 3rd and long.
Chance facing pressure. He's wrapped up and dropped. Shepard Smith screaming in off the edge. The corner with his first sack of the season.
This is what I was talking about again with Chance. The ball was on the ground. Now it was 3rd down already, but that would have been a disaster turnover. As we watch on the top of the screen, just totally free on the edge, is number 7 for Brentwood, Shepard Smith. Able to get the ball out from Chance too. Senior defensive back.
Punt team on the field, Drew Crabtree. Will kick it back to Brentwood. Tight spiral. Excellent punt by Crabtree. It's fielded inside the 10. Merrill makes a move, and he'll reverse field. Clayton Merrill across the 20, and he's wrangled out of bounds before reaching the 25. Nice return by Merrill, and Brentwood takes over. Under 7 minutes to play, down 21-3 in the Battle of the Woods on MyTV 30. Brentwood with the ball, down 18 with under 7 minutes to play as we come back and take a quick break for financial literacy with Wilson Bank and Trust.
At the beginning of every football season, a team sits down and makes a game plan. Let Wilson Bank and Trust help you create your financial game plan. Protect your credit while navigating real-life obstacles by paying off credit cards and bills each month. Financial goals requires complex decisions and smart budgeting. It's always a good idea to prepare now for the future. Like every great coach knows their team, we know our community. We understand your needs and have the winning plays to help you achieve success. Let's craft a game-winning financial strategy that fits you.
Brentwood ball on their own 23-yard line, and Bruno Reagan, 6:57 to go. Brentwood with all 3 timeouts, playing for that trophy and a region championship. Feels like it's now or never for the Bruins, down 18.
It makes sense to call it the Battle of the Wood because only one of them is going to take the entire thing.
You know, there's a lot of debate on that, whether it's Wood or Woods. White wings it out, caught at the sticks. And that's a first down catch by the tight end, Landon Okla.
Brentwood would essentially have to have 3 2-minute drives with some timeout workage and probably an onside kick somewhere in there. But they have the offense to do it. They can march down the field relying on their passing attack. It's not like some teams we've seen where they would struggle in that department.
White on 1st and 10. Looking downfield, turning catch. It's complete at the 25 and brought down near the 20. What a grab by Parker Emerson, only his 6th catch of the season, first one of the night. And it's a huge play of 45 yards for the Bruins.
Good protection. There's a lot of contact right here by both the offensive and defensive players. But that's kind of the explosive play that Brentwood's been looking for. They needed all game. And I guess better late than never than the 4th quarter, down 3 scores.
The biggest play of the night for the Brentwood offense. J.C. White back in the gun. 15 of 23 for 218 yards. No touchdowns, 1 pick on the night. But he'll run here across the 15. White tugged down. A quick first down run sets up a 2nd and 4.
White's got some good instant change of direction. It scares me a little bit when I see a guy stick that foot in the ground that fast, but these guys are young. The ligaments are very fresh in their knees.
Rohan makes the stop, spoken like a seasoned vet. 2nd and 4 from the 15. Facing pressure, White is dropped. As he stepped up in the pocket, ran straight into that Ravenwood front that has been excellent tonight. Rohan again on the tackle. It's a Brentwood team that was held to 6 points in a Week 2 loss to Brentwood Academy. Since then, averaging over 30 points per game. But at this point, just trying to get back in this thing.
Ravenwood defense showing their colors. They've been really excellent in the red zone and the goal line tonight, too. Able to keep them down to 3 and not a touchdown.
White on third down, incomplete, looking for Clayton Merrill. Brings up 4th and 6.
Yeah, there was just pressure. I mean, there's just kind of a lack of urgency for Brentwood right now. Even after the explosive play, things just, you'll see a thing here or there where I think the situation they're in is kind of mentally affecting them instead of just taking it play by play, because that one was broken on a few different fronts.
This is a must-have for Brentwood. 4th and 6, down 18. White going for the touchdown. It's picked off. Intercepted in the end zone. Jaden Smitherman, his 4th interception of 2024. And Ravenwood takes over with an 18-point lead and 4:15 to go.
White facing pressure. I mean, one D lineman just walked right in between 2 free Brentwood blockers, and White's forced to, I mean, he has to try and make something. I hate the decision. Those are going to go into the stat book as INTs, but they're necessary INTs, and a great job by Smitherman just to come down with it when you have that double coverage.
Ravenwood's defense has been the story all season long. It has carried this team, according to their head coach, and it certainly has carried them tonight. And now Ravenwood trying to ice away a region championship. Clock ticking at 4 minutes to go. Impressive performance in all 3 phases tonight for Ravenwood.
Still, Ravenwood, a few things, the penalties on offense, and being a little bit more efficient. When I say efficient, 4 to 5 yard gains, staying ahead of the sticks in the first, but finishing these drives from a consistent standpoint, not just relying on the explosive play. They're going to operate what's called the 4-minute offense right now, where you try and ice the game from your side of the field, rushing the football.
Babalola trying to run up the middle and has nowhere to go. And brings up 3rd and 4. So Ravenwood head coach Will Hester in his 4th season of his 2nd stint at Ravenwood High School. Led the Raptors to the 2015 state championship in his 1st stint. Coaching against his alma mater and a good friend in Brentwood head coach Clint Finch, who's in his 4th season. Those two have worked together for many years and have had many battles, as Ravenwood looks primed to take this one. 21-3 the score, 3:17 to go in the Battle of the Woods.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank our wonderful sponsor partners, the Tennessee Army National Guard, Bart Durham, and Sonic. who through their contributions to this program make these games possible for you, the viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our Friday Night Rivals telecasts. The United States Navy, VMC Metalworks, UA Local 572, Wilson Bank and Trust, the United States Marines, Western Kentucky University, Bass Tire, and Josh Houston and Associates. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support.
To go, Ravenwood on top and in control, 21-3 over Brentwood, trying to ice away a Region 6 6A championship and an undefeated regular season for only the second time in school history. So a little bit of confusion on the previous play being snapped a little prematurely. Referee's not set, but it'll bring up a 3rd and 4. It's a Ravenwood team that lost to Brentwood last year, both in the regular season finale and in the second round of the postseason. And that student section has been waiting a year to celebrate this tonight. Some movement. Bodies going down. Get this sorted out with our white hat tonight, Billy Pittman.
Encroachment on the defense, number 9. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And a UA Local 572 first down for Raven. We'll put them at their own 31.
Steve Mann, guy who's all across the country at all times, told us off the air, he said, this is one of the best student sections I've seen. Speaks a lot about football, Middle Tennessee, what we have here in this beautiful state.
Absolutely. Flipping it to Hubbard here across the 35. Great to catch up with Steve before the game, and you're right, and he emphasized it, right? He's been to games in Pennsylvania and Florida and Alabama, you name it. And he said this environment stacks up with all of them. And it's not just the home crowd, right? It's the way the road teams show up for these games. The Brentwood student section showing up in the whiteout. Now you're starting to see some fans filter out.
I think they're ready for a certain event that typically happens in a post-game setting when the clock hits 0-0.
Right. One side of the stadium is trying to beat the traffic. The other is trying to get on that turf field here at Ravenwood High School. Up the middle, Doland dives forward. But for Will Hester to come back to Ravenwood for his second stint and to bring this program back to the heights that it was at in his first stint, and to do it against his alma mater, and it's not lost on him as the timeout is taken on the field by Ravenwood. He talks about that emotion of beating Brentwood, beating his alma mater, and it's not just that he went to school there. It's his niece that plays volleyball there on the state championship runner-up team for Brentwood High School. He's got a nephew on the football team that is the backup center at Brentwood High School. So many ties, and now here's Will Hester coaching at Ravenwood, which is built on what used to be a field that he would go hunting rabbits on before he was a student at Brentwood High School back in the day.
Just had to remind you, we're in Middle Tennessee with the hunting rabbits. But it's also amazing what Ravenwood's built here in what would be considered a relatively short amount of time for a program, right? I mean, they've been around for a little bit of a change now, but Hester on his second stint, I got to play against him in his first one. I love to remind the audience where he skunked us in our first game my senior season, kind of put a dolt in that before it even got to take off.
You had yourself a pretty good career.
Oh, yeah.
Clarksville Hall of Famer Bruno Reagan. 2:19 left. Babalola gives again to Dolan. 2:13 remaining And Ravenwood looking like it will wrap up a Region 6A championship. Brentwood taking its third and final timeout of the game. Playing to the end here. And that is the way Clint Finch coaches his teams. Take a look at the stop of the game presented by Bass Tire. And I'm sure you can guess it if you've been with us since the first half. Brentwood driving 21-3, approaching halftime. This was the final play of the first half. Smothered by Pollard was Gavin Nelson.
I can't help but think of that one song, right? Stunting Like My Daddy. I think that's what I think when I see this clip right here. Pollard also, immediately after he made that tackle, he was crawling on the ground like a Brian Dawkins-esque animalistic. I was so fired up when I saw that. So I love it when I see a skill player or a safety player, a defensive back, the third level, making physical football plays.
You love to see the throwback celebrations sometimes. I know a lot of people hate to hear that, but for Jalen Pollard, Brian Dawkins, that's a throwback celebration.
Absolutely. Everyone's doing the pointing at the arm now, and what's it, the gritty. You know, it's time we get back to our roots a little bit where people thought they were animals out in the football field.
2:13 to go. Brentwood out of timeouts. So it would take a dramatic comeback at this point.
I was going to mention that, Lucas. I mean, let's say Brentwood even gets the football back. They need 3 scores. I mean, they've failed to find the end zone once this game.
Babalola fakes the handoff and runs through contact across midfield. You can see the effort by the Brentwood players just trying to punch the ball out, make something happen here late. It is a first down presented by UA Local 572, the premier trainer of workers in all aspects of the piping, plumbing, welding, and HVAC industry.
This series might do it, if not a few seconds left on the clock when we get to the fourth play. Might have to run that rare play right there where you see someone take it to the back for the safety or the end zone. It's a pretty rare play in football. I can't tell you how many times I've practiced it on a Thursday or Friday walkthrough and never ran it, but most teams at a high level have it in.
And a timeout on the field taken by Ravenwood. Second one of the half.
I think they're just going to talk about the procedure.
So let's take a peek at our play of the game with 90 seconds to go. Presented by the Tennessee Army National Guard, Femi Babalola. A 42-yard connection with Max Kimple in the back of the end zone.
From a protection standpoint, the tackles, the back picks it up in the backfield, tackles round their guys on the end. Babalola steps up with his eyes completely down the field, and he drops it right in the bucket over the shoulder. Whereas last week, he was criticized by Coach Hester a little bit for some interceptable footballs and throws. That one, that was perfect.
Babalola and Maverick Chance tonight. Talk about a 2-quarterback system that works. Babalola 7 of 10, 101 yards, and the 1 touchdown. Well, you just saw the 42-yarder to Kimple, adding 19 yards on the ground. Maverick Chance, 9 of 12 on the night, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 71 rush yards on 12 carries.
Say that again?
Ravenwood trusts these two. I mean, stone cold professionals at the ripe age of 17 and 16.
Go up the middle. Flag flies late.
Flag on the play.
Ravenwood will win the Region 6A championship. Brentwood will finish second. Both teams will host next week at the beginning of the TSSAA postseason. And looking like Ravenwood will play host to Cane Ridge, who has finished 4th in Region 5A after a 37-8 loss at Smyrna just last night.
After the play, personal foul on the defense, number 14. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Results in first down.
Personal foul against Brentwood outside linebacker Mason Ray. So the Bruins, go ahead.
I was just going to say that's going to allow the victory formation to take us home here at the end.
Yeah, Brentwood out of timeouts. Ravenwood an 18-point lead. It'll send Brentwood to 8-2 on the year. Still a phenomenal season for Clint Finch in his 4th season. And they'll go back to the drawing board and look to put together a postseason run. Not going to see a lot of teams like the Ravenwood Raptors in the next couple of weeks if you're Brentwood.
No, this will give you time to, and they're going to watch the film. They're going to see it was closer than the score actually says. Just a few explosive plays. And they had some good drives on offense. Just weren't able to convert when they had the opportunity.
Babalola takes the knee. The headset is off of Will Hester. He will get win number 34 in his 2nd stint at Ravenwood High School. And what an important win it is for a Ravenwood team that fell twice to Brentwood in 2023. Saw their season ended at the hands of the Bruins. And this clock will tick down. For the 2nd time in school history, the Ravenwood Raptors are 10-0 in the regular season. And our Region 6 6A champions. 21-3 will be the final. Friends, former colleagues, embraced at the end of the game in Will Hester and Clint Finch. And that will put a bow on the 2024 regular season right here on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Plenty of postseason action to come. But what an environment tonight, Bruno, and Ravenwood, the deserved region champ.
They come out of this game with 3 titles, right? They got the Battle of the Woods. They got the region title. And most importantly, they got the FNR My TV 30 trophy for their game of the week.
And you talk about a resume. How about beating 2 top 10 teams in Class 6A back-to-back to close out the season with the win over Oakland in overtime a week ago? And how about the backflip from Donovan Starr after a win over Brentwood to close things out? More to come. We'll give you our Bart Durham player of the game, and we'll hear from Ravenwood head coach Will Hester. He's got more when we come back. Ravenwood wins by 18.
Hey, we'll take your second.
Ain't no way, no little section.
30 seconds.
Looks like the whole student body's down on the field here at Ravenwood, celebrating an undefeated season and a 21-3 win over Brentwood in the Battle of the Woods. And we send it down to the field. Sammy Kincaid alongside Ravenwood coach Will Hester.
Coach, you got it done tonight. It's a rivalry game. You never know what's going to happen in a rivalry game. So what can you say about your team?
I'm super proud of our guys, right? You know, we talked all week about throwing the records out and all that kind of stuff. You know, we had an emotional game last week. We had to find a way to get back kind of refocused and do it this week. Our defense played absolutely phenomenal again, holding a good team to 3 points. Offense played really good in the first half. We got to clean some stuff up in the second half. But in the end, we're Region 6A champions. We get to host as many playoff games as we can play up until the semifinals, and we're excited for the playoffs to start.
Absolutely. And I don't know if a team has ever won this trophy 2 weeks in a row. So, I mean, just the resiliency. And now you're seeing it pay off with the playoffs coming up. So what can you really say about that?
As we're ready, we got a little rematch with Cane Ridge, I believe, to start off the first week. So excited for the playoffs to be here, and who knows where we'll be in a few weeks.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations. Here's your first of 2 trophies tonight, Coach.
Thanks, Sammy. Appreciate it.
The Ravenwood Raptors are 10-0 after a 21-3 win over Brentwood, Region 6A champs, and avenging a loss from last year in the Battle of the Woods. 21 unanswered for Ravenwood, and just seeing it out with a scoreless second half for the win. Let's take a look at our player of the game. It is presented by Bart Durham, and it is the future Auburn Tiger, Donovan Starr. 3 catches on offense for 70 yards and a touchdown, including this catch and run to make it 7-3 in the first quarter, and an interception to boot on defense.
Something we love here on My TV 30 are the guys that do everything. It's not only that they play both ways, but they're also the special teams guys, right? That shows leadership. It shows those young guys that just because you're this guy or that guy, or if you're a guy like Starr who's super athletic, you can do everything, and it's never a bother to take more responsibility for your team. A great choice by Donovan Starr as he grabs this interception. And what a Starr. Knows where the camera's at.
Donovan Starr, cool as you like, going into the postseason. The Friday night lights not too bright for that young man who only has a couple months left of his high school career before early enrolling at Auburn, and he's hoping tonight. Join us next Friday, November 8th at 7 p.m. as we dive straight into the TSSAA playoffs with a first-round showdown right here on My TV 30 Sports. And all of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, the Tennessee Army National Guard, Bart Durham Injury Law, and Sonic, who, through their contributions to the program, make these games possible for you viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our 2024 Friday Night Rivals telecast. The United States Navy, BMC Metalworks, UA Local 572, Wilson Bank and Trust, the United States Marines, Western Kentucky University, Bass Tire, and Josh Houston and Associates. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support. Brentwood High School and our host, Ravenwood High School. From our partner Bruno Reagan and Sammy Kincaid down on the sidelines and our phenomenal production crew, I'm Lucas Panzica saying thank you. We will see you in the 2024 postseason. Ravenwood gets it done, 21-3 over Brentwood.